In this video, you will get information about the Visual Line add-on for Visual Composer, its installation process, features, and options this add-on has to offer to make your page look more elegant and professional. Visual Line is an add-on, so it is required to have a pre-installed Visual Composer plugin for the add-on to work. So without further delay, let's get started. Installation. To install the add-on, be sure to have Visual Composer pre-installed. The Visual Composer plugin is not bundled together with this add-on pack and needs to be purchased separately. After purchasing and downloading the add-on, you will get a zip file which contains 7 .zip files. Make sure you install the core.zip file first, since the add-ons are dependent on this particular file. However, if you got this plugin add-on bundled with themes, you can skip this step and check the theme documentation on how to install the plugin properly. There are 2 ways to install the add-on on your WordPress. 1. FTP upload. Unzip the visualline.zip file, which contains core.zip and multiple other .zip files. Unzip core.zip as well as memoryline.zip and upload the contents into the wp-content/plugin folder on your server. If you get an error while activating the plugin uploaded via FTP, please ensure that transfer type is set to binary. 2. WordPress installation. Navigate to the Plugins section by clicking on Plugin on the left sidebar. Click on the Add New button beside the title. You will see a search engine provided by WordPress to find new plugins. On the top left, beside the title, you can see the Upload Plugin button. When you click it, you will get the option to add files from the computer. Browse to the plugin file you just downloaded. Make sure that the file is in the .zip format and install it. Your new plugin is installed successfully. Available plugin types. After activating the add-on, you can use any one of them or all of them as per your need. Each plugin has a different set of settings which are explained later on in this video. Memory line. Memory line add-on helps to show the timeline which has important memory. To use this plugin, simply edit the page with the Visual Composer at the front editor. After clicking the Add Element button, from the top menu, navigate to Visual Line menu. Select Simple Memory Line and hit Save Changes to show the memory line in your page. Setting. In the General tab, you can adjust the number of columns, remove contents to be shown, and also add external CSS for designing. The attributes in the Points tab change the size and color of the indicators used. You can specify the default points connector color, offsets, and shape, which will be used as the default settings for all the lines. The memory line content element can override the settings here for individual line settings. In the Design Options tab, you can add margins and padding to the memory line timeline. Click Save Changes to see the changes you have made. Timeline. Timeline add-on helps to show the chronological order of the events. To use this plugin, edit the page with the Visual Composer at the front editor. After clicking the Add Element button, from the top menu, navigate to Visual Line menu. Select Simple Timeline and hit Save Changes to show it on your page. Setting. In the General tab, you can adjust the layout, alignment, and CSS of the timeline. The Event tab is where you change the actual content of the timeline along with the title and image. In the Design Options tab, you can add margins and padding to the timeline. Click Save Changes to see the changes you have made. You can make changes with shortcodes as well. Timeline Wrapper is the main shortcode for wrapping all of the timeline elements. In this shortcode, you can define the layout of the element and the direction of the timeline alignment. History line. The History Line add-on helps to show the chronological order of the events. To use this plugin, edit the page with the Visual Composer at the front editor. After clicking the Add Element button, from the top menu, navigate to Visual Line menu. Select Simple History and hit Save Changes to show it on your page. Setting. The General tabs will allow you to configure the color of lines and texts as you see fit. The shortcodes will create the inner content for the history wrapper and should only be used inside the history wrapper. The Items tab helps to change the actual content of the timeline. We can add specific images, change the titles, subtitles, contents, as well as the images. Click Save Changes to see the changes you have made. Centerline. The Centerline add-on focuses on one thing and describes it in 3 different ways. To use this plugin, edit the page with the Visual Composer at the front editor. After clicking the Add Element button, from the top menu, navigate to the Visual Line menu. Select Centerline and hit Save Changes to show it on your page. Setting. In the General tab, you can adjust the CSS and general animations. The Image tab provides you the place to add images and adjust its size. The Centerline element depends on a centered image which can be uploaded via this tab. The left, right, and center tabs are where you add the contents and change the color of lines and texts as you see fit. To see your content on the page, make sure that you have enabled the particular text. Design options help to set the margins and paddings for the timeline. You can make changes with shortcodes as well. The shortcode will create the inner content for the Centerline wrapper and should only be used inside the Centerline wrapper. The shortcodes allow you to create a wrapper for the Centerline element content. Snakeline. Snakeline add-on shows the horizontal timeline with a unique design. The content of the timeline may be slid to reveal more contents. To use this plugin, edit the page with the Visual Composer at the front editor. After clicking the Add Element button, from the top menu, navigate to Visual Line menu. Select Snakeline and hit Save Changes to show it on your page. Setting. In the General tabs, you can set the content of the timeline along with the CSS and line styles. The Design Options tab helps to add padding and margin to the Snakeline timeline. Bubble Line. The Bubble Line timeline is a horizontal timeline that shows the events in bubbles. To use this plugin, edit the page with the Visual Composer at the front editor. After clicking the Add Element button, from the top menu, navigate to Visual Line menu. Select Simple Bubble Line and hit Save Changes to show it on your page. Setting. In the General tab, you can adjust the content of the bubble line along with the CSS and CSS IDs. The Design Options tab helps to add padding and margin to the bubble line timeline. Key features. This plugin helps to make a beautiful and vivid timeline with an intriguing visual design which brings up your page. The key features of this add-on are the layout options for the timeline, which is the factor that makes this plugin stand out from others, making it super flexible and easy to use. The availability of the Bootstrap grid system, along with its own unique responsive CSS, makes it unique and more usable. If you feel that coding is a nightmare, then worry no more. This plugin helps you without having to know any coding. Bottom line. All in all, the Visual Line add-on for the Visual Composer plugin is the most elegant and useful tool to make timelines of various types. Its responsive design, enriched options, and simplicity help you make the best site with a professional touch.